Hello everyone, and welcome back. I'm very happy to say that I successfully completed this first project. You can find it on itch.io here, and I'll link it in the description and comments as well. Last time, I claimed that I would try to finish this in the last week of February. And of course, that didn't happen. But I don't actually feel bad about it though. I'm actually feeling quite proud of what I've done. Once again, I didn't really plan the script, so I'm just kind of winging it again. Hopefully, I'll keep it shorter this time, as I can't wait to get started on the next project. Although I was still somewhat inconsistent / lazy overall, I did have a few insanely productive days where I really felt like I was in the zone. There was even a day where I stayed up to 1 AM just working on my game instead of going to sleep, because I felt like I didn't want to break the momentum. I think what helped the most was that I actually spent some time trying to write down some thoughts on paper as to how to go about the obstacle logic. Even in this project, I had been running away from the obstacle portion for a long time, just saying to myself that I had no idea how to start. But thanks to these notes, I was able to write the majority of the obstacle logic in just a few days. Originally, I had considered just making a prefab for every configuration of the blocks, but now I had a clear plan for creating them in code. To give a brief summary, the game consists of levels of increasing difficulty. Each level is a set amount of playtime, and within this X second level, an obstacle will be released every T seconds at speed S. At obstacle release, we randomly decide if it should have a grounded or a high position. In other words, a position where you must jump over, or a position where you either can jump over or must not jump. We also randomly decide a number of subsequent obstacles to be released in quick succession. There's one caveat here. All successions must be in the same group, either grounded or high. Otherwise, we might get into some impossible situations like this, where you need to jump over the first block, but you also must stay grounded for the second block, making it impossible to get through. At the end of the level duration, we temporarily pause the obstacle release until all blocks are off screen, and then the release delay T is decremented while speed S is incremented. To put it in context, initially, obstacles might be released every 5 seconds at speed 10. After 25 seconds have passed, we decrease the delay to 4.5 seconds and increase speed to 12. After another 25 seconds, the delay is dropped to 4 and speed is increased to 15. And this repeats on and on until the game is over. And that's the gist of the obstacle release mechanism. That was probably the most involved portion in this game. Cool. Let's quickly skim through the rest of the changes made that I have footage for. After completing the initial obstacle logic, I added a small quality of life change by dropping the height of the collider. This way, skimming the top surface of a block wouldn't lead to game over. Then, I added a game over event so that I could start to pause the obstacle release as well as player functions. Then, I added game over screens, one for player collision and one for a victory screen. The winning score is just arbitrary, and I don't actually know that reaching it is even possible. I added a restart event to reset the game state and restart the obstacle release. And I added sound slider controls in the start menu. All of a sudden, I cleared a ton of tasks on the Trello board. Even unintentionally completed a bunch of polish tasks without even realizing it. I surprised myself, honestly. I didn't expect to get to so many polish items. Finally, I added in some particles in the background, so there's not moments where it looks like nothing is happening on screen. So, here's what the full game looks like. Overall, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I feel pretty proud of myself. Funnily enough, I wrote at the very top of my notes that I was losing interest, ultimately giving up on further polish. And yet, I completed all but 2 of the polish tasks at the end, without even intentionally trying to. I feel like I actually gained interest and passion at the end. It felt like I had finally started to enjoy the process, and I wasn't just looking towards the result. I do still feel like I need to rethink how I'm doing these videos. It seems that after I'm satisfied with making progress on the game, I've just sat and did nothing for weeks before finally starting the video. I did quite like the section where I explained the obstacle release logic. I think perhaps that is something to emphasize and try to pick out for future videos. Perhaps I should also ask some other devs on YouTube what their process is. In any case, I can't wait to get started on the next project. I've got an idea that is a big jump in scope, as this time I'm determined to actually try to make assets. There's still a ton about Unity and 2D game dev that I didn't quite get the chance to touch on in this project. Things such as tile maps, the animation system, scriptable objects, post-processing effects, and so forth. I'm looking forward to learning more about all of them, in addition to trying Sprite and continuing to try some simple music composition. Alright, I'm feeling excited. Hopefully, I can have something published by September or October later this year. With that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.